for the second keynote speech. I think he wrote some minutes here, but himself, he has to bring some minutes down. Please, you've seen him before, our founder rather, and our host for today. Please put your hands together for Mr. Damilola Robert.
One of the things I've recently started doing is consulting for small businesses, most especially startup, right? I used to be in advertising, and I knew even when I was in advertising that I should be in tech. There was no doubt about it. So I just had to leave the space for the guys who are doing pretty well there right now. And I have been very fortunate to be able to grow companies, right? My first tech company had 27,000 users when they joined. When I left, they had 216. I never paid 1 naira on advertising throughout my 18 months there. I did not do one digital ad, one billboard, because no budget. Right, then moved into another space from 25,000 to about 350 right now. So good numbers that we are doing. And I think it's important for businesses to understand how to be able to grow traction. Traction is such an important thing. This presentation also is probably one of my laziest presentations, but it's probably the best presentation I've ever done just because of the aesthetics and the way it looks. So 0 to traction, it's really hard. It's hard to be able to move from your 0 customer to your 100,000 customer, most especially if you are a B2C company, right? One of the things that is important for you is you need users who constantly use your product, and you want them to constantly use on such a basis that you are able to drive revenue from it, right? As a business owner, one thing I think I would also advise you is, if you've not read the book Traction, you should read it. This whole idea was born out of that book, right? Traction is such an important book for you to read as a business owner because it just helps you understand the entire ecosystem, plans you need to put in place, what you need to do to be able to grow. It also checkmates some of the strategies you already have on ground, right? And helps you understand where you should focus majority of your attention on. So if you're a business owner and you've never read it, trust me, you should not be in business if you know read Traction. It's definitely one of the best books, right? So today's talk, traction, but how do we get there? How are you able to build your customer? Who should be using your product most importantly? How are you able to get them? How do you identify them? How do you build content to be able to nurture them, right? A couple of people in this room have been able to build businesses, sustainable businesses, because they understood how this works. And for those who haven't done that, I hope that by the end of this presentation, you're able to have a lot of knowledge around how this thing works, the plans you can put into place, right? And the strategies you can also apply to be able to make it work. First, before we talk about you achieving traction, you hear that word all the time, product market fit. Now, there is always conversation around, most especially in the tech industry, who should own product market fit. But I think the answer is already in the name. The product team and the marketing team should own the product market fit. However, in some organizations, they think it's marketing. So if you're a marketer, one of the things you really want to learn is how exactly do I grow traction for my company? And if you're a product person, you want to understand how do I interact, how do I iterate, how do I move forward with the businesses in which I'm doing, right? Then once you are able to achieve your product market fit, then you start optimizing for growth. Optimizing for growth would then mean that you begin to spend less money on advertising, because organic growth is one of the ways you would know you've achieved product market fit. Once you begin to get in hundreds of sign-up on a daily basis, right, your churn is beginning to reduce. We're going to talk more about this. When people sign up on your platform, in the first 24 hours, 30 to 40% of them get activated and are able to achieve that aha moment. You would know that you have achieved what is called a product market fit. This is what a PMF really looks like. This is where you start your business. This is where you know you've achieved PMF. Once you begin to get constant growth, right, and this doesn't happen in 1 month. You will never achieve product market fit in 1 month. You will not achieve it in 2 months. You probably never achieve it in 6 months. It takes years. Some companies, it took them 6 years. Some companies, they would need to even pivot for them to be able to experience product market fit, right? So if you've not achieved it, you are not doing anything wrong. It's just that you are probably not iterating enough, or you're not running enough experiments. And before I even go further, one of the biggest challenges I think I found among marketers is the fact that we don't experiment. I see people run ad and they run ad on one copy. They run ad on one design. they have just one page, landing page for design. How exactly are you supposed to know? How exactly are you supposed to compare things and run experiments? When you send out email, you send one email to everybody, right? It's a lazy way to approach marketing. And one of the biggest challenge that you would see is that whenever a tech company or a business is about to, maybe their burn rate is down, they need to lay off people that work in the company, it's marketing team that they lay off first. Have you ever thought about why marketing team? Because a lot of people are just clueless. They are just winging it. Let's run Facebook today. Oh, tomorrow in our Instagram we go run. I see billboard. Make we do billboard too now. Right? A lot of people are clueless, right? And you also find yourself in an organization whereby the engineers think that they are marketing authority. Oh, Paystack, they run now. And let's also do what Paystack is doing. You don't have Paystack money. They can decide to do anything they want to do and they will go scot-free with it, right? So traction is from your 0 user to, you've achieved traction, right? If you're able to get to 100,000 users. That's a sign that people really want your product. You can also check from your analytics when people constantly use your product on a daily basis. You can see it from your numbers of revenue, right? You're probably doing like 60K monthly recurring revenue. You know that, okay, there's something here for us to be able to scale on and just double down on growth. Next slide. It doesn't want to reach traction. Good. So I know I've explained what the product market fit really means, right? And there are a lot of ways you've achieved product market fit. But one of the ways you constantly know you've achieved product market fit is that when people want your product and they're excited about the things you've created. And majority of the time, most of them don't even get to know about your product through ads. It could just be searching for something, they went online, they see the solution you have, they know it solves their problem, right? But you are seeing these numbers like consistently, right? Once you are able to achieve product market fit in such a way that organic users are constant, that's one of the ways. You can't say you've achieved product market fit if you continue to run ads for the rest of your company life, right? So a time will come, you need to take a pause. You want to see how you attract organic customers, people coming to you maybe from the content you already created, from the blogs you've already written, or from the events that you go to, and people say, oh, I used to see your ad online. I used to see your product online. I would like to sign up, right? There are also near customers that would only convert by the time they see you at physical events. That's why I think physical events is important for companies, right? So once you're able to achieve product market fit, the next thing would be how do you distribute it and how do you win the market over? So this is what PMF looks like. Usage, 3 out of every 7 days, people are constantly using your product. If people are not using your product 3 out of 7 days, there's a chance you've not achieved product market fit. Because product market fit is how has this product been ingrained in your life? There are definitely different conversations around this. So if it's a SaaS product, for example, it doesn't have to be 3 out of every 7 days. Because if let's say you create invoice for an example, right? It is when I need to create invoice that I will use your product. Right? Let's say you have probably a system like Heartbeat. It is when I need to either pay salary, when you need it is when you come on the platform. But you must be using it consistently over months, right? It cannot be 1 month and you stop using it. Like consistently over months, that is when you know that you achieved that, right? Organic growth in hundreds, right? You cannot have 20 people signing up in 1 week and you think we are doing something, right? It's not even 500 really to think we are doing something. People are constantly signing up on your platform organically. Right? That is where you begin to see the numbers, right? 30% of your active users are active the day between 24 hours when they sign up, right? One of the biggest challenges you will see in a lot of tech spaces, people are signing up and they are not activating. Have you ever seen, if people that have access to their company dashboard, like maybe 500,000 users and us 743 people are active. Where are the ghost users, right? And it happens a lot of the time, right? It really happens a lot of the time. We've seen like use cases of companies coming out to say, we use this strategy, we've gotten like a lot of users, but these users stop using our product, immediately they get our referral bonus, right? We see that like constantly. So what strategy do you need to put in place to make sure that 30% of your users are active, right? Then there has to be a clear path to 100,000 users. Like you can say in 7 months, we are going to hit 100,000 by the trajectory at which we are going, right? And for people, it's 500,000, 1 million. Those numbers are great. But for you to even think of, it looks as if we've hit market fit, you must at least have like 100,000 users. And what that gives you is the ability to be able to experiment. Like I said, The key thing about growth marketing that is, I know there are a lot of conversations, Sonia is not here. She's one of those people that think marketing is growth marketing. I would die on that cross. They are not the same thing. They will never be the same thing. They both have the same objective, but you can say, Damilola, there is no marketing budget. We still need you to be able to increase user base. You will not tell a marketer that, because their idea is, how will I run ads? How will people get to know this? It's never the same thing, even though the goal is always the same thing, but the application, the strategy they both put in place are two different things, right? What if you don't have product market fit? Then get it done before you die, or get it done before you fail, or get it done before your burn rate is over, and the money you've taken from family and friends is just remaining $1,000, right? You need to get it done, right? And most startups fail even before they achieve product market fit because it's genuinely hard. It's genuinely hard for you to achieve product market fit. People fail on the journey. You've seen companies that raise 5 million and they say, we want to close shop. People are not buying our products, right? We've seen it over time. We've seen companies that raise 35 million and closed shop, right? And there are a lot of reasons why this happened. I'm going to discuss that during this presentation. There are a lot of reasons why this happened. Product market fit the easy way. This has been like some of the things I have done to be able to push for product market fit. Choose your own difficulty, but really, you should take it easy on yourself because it's hard. You have friends that you send them a message 3 a.m. and they reply 3:01. They cannot sleep now because, how do you want to sleep? It's hard, it's difficult. You wake up, the first thing you check is dashboard. When you go to bed, the last thing you check is dashboard. Because you're like, this number is not increasing. Well, pump it up, right? It's really difficult to be able to achieve that, but hopefully we can make it easy. Pre-existing product category. Ideally, many customers will already know what they want in the product. If you ask them, they already have an alternative to your product, right? They already have what they are doing. They already find a way to solve that problem. It's just that it's not convenient. It's not really convenient for them to be able to do it. They already have a way. So how does your product solve for convenience? And like I said earlier in my introductory speech, if your product is not solving for convenience and customer satisfaction, somebody else will come into the market and they would win you over. And some of the questions I get, and I think I was discussing with Sharif yesterday, who is here, about people saying, I cannot get into this category because they already have like a bigger player that is following the market. A big example is Alibaba. When Alibaba got into China, they are not the first e-commerce store in China. It was eBay. eBay had 75% of the entire market share at that point. But when Alibaba came in, he knew he could solve that problem, but his strategy was different. So he implemented 4 strategies. 1, for you to be able to be on the platform as a vendor, you must have like a China identity card to show that you're a real person. Because at that point, e-commerce was still also very early in China. People were saying, why should I put my card on a platform and you're deducting my money, right? So he made it easy for people to be able to build that trust. The next thing he did was, on eBay, you have to pay, the money has to land in the vendor's account. If they deliver, they don't deliver, that's your problem. What he did was he created an escrow account to say, this money is going to be in this account until the vendor has delivered your product, they will not have access to their money. Right? And if you feel like you are not satisfied with what the vendor gives to you, you can return it and take away your money from the platform. Right? That's another thing he did. And replication is also very important. How do you make people experience brick and mortar store online? There's a way you do it, right? People always go to the shop to buy stuff because before the advent of digital media, there's a way people buy. It's stimulus, shelf, and experience. People see a billboard or they see a newspaper ad, they go to the store and they buy it. If they don't like it, they probably tell their neighbors. If they like it, they also tell their neighbors. However, the advent of digital media has changed the entire customer journey to be stimulus, search, shelf, and experience. So search is such an important journey that we have come to see. To say that if Damilola wants to buy a phone, right, one of the things I will do is that I have an idea of the kind of phone I want to buy. Then I'll go online to search for it. I'll probably search for alternative. I'm an iPhone user, but if it's iPhone 15, I cannot afford it, So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll buy iPhone 14. And I will need to see what are people saying about iPhone 14. What's the review like? Is the camera great? Right? What's the battery durability? I want to experience like all of that. Then when I'm convinced, after even comparing with like other products in the market, I can go ahead and buy. Then I will experience it. If I fall in the category of people that love it, I'll go online and tell people about it. And this goes for any other product, whether you're selling eyeglasses, or you're selling a shoe, or you're selling a bag. Identifying customer journey and also making it easy for them to be able to experience each of that journey is super important. All right. I think I've moved past this. Okay. All right. So one of the ways to achieve product market fit, very large numbers of customer pooling, right? You cannot say you want to build a product for 50 people, or else you are selling gun, or you are a machinery, right? You can have 50 people as a customer because if you are servicing Nigeria, Ghana, countries, right, you are good with that, right? You don't need 100,000 people, right? You need like a set of people that will buy it, then they will distribute it to the pockets of people in the US, right? That is your customer. However, if you have a fintech product and you want people to be able to save, you have a pool of about 60, 70 million people that would want to use your product. So what would make them use your product, right? That's exactly one of the things you want to do. And that's one of the ways you can validate that, okay, there's a chance that we're going to experience product market fit here by the numbers of people that ask the pool to be able to use the product. One of the mistakes people constantly make is they think about technology first before solution, right? People think, I would like to build this product. When they now finish building the product, they're like, who will use this product? Right? So it always should be, who would use it first before you go ahead and build the technology? And you must know that the pool has to be large enough. People should want to use the product before you go ahead and use it. You have to have lots of successful competition. And I say this over time, like, don't be scared to enter into a market that already has somebody who is 99% dominating that market. There is always a chance for you. It's only if you can decide to play the big game. And there are different strategies. You can start with a niche, right? So there is another, PPD is another big online commerce in China, who right now, projection is saying in the next 5 years is going to topple Alibaba. And they are just 6 years old. They started by delivering fruit to people. That was the niche they started. People want to buy online fruit, you buy from them, they deliver it to your house. Then they now came up with a network effect marketing to say that if you want to buy something and it's $100, if you share the link for your friends to buy it, if 3 of you want to buy it, we are going to sell it for you for $80, right? So they build a network effect to say, I want to buy a shoe. I think Yemi would also, Yemi said you needed to buy a shoe. So let me send it to Yemi. If Yemi buys the shoe on the platform and Wisdom buys the shoe on the platform, instead of us paying $100 each, we can pay $80, right? So that built a network effect of people now sharing or telling their friends about PPD, right? And that's one of the ways they're able to grow. And after they've been able to now hack the entire fruit market, they introduced automobile, they introduced like stationaries, and today they have 42% of the market share in China, right? They are doing, their last profit was, their last profit was 116 billion last year, right? And they are 6 years old, right? So there is always a chance for you to be able to enter markets that dominant players are playing. Just understand the strategies you need to put in place. You have to do something different. You have to be able to just make life easy for your customer. Like I will continue to say it, for you to be able to excel, you have to make life easy for your customers. And that's one of the ways you can achieve product market fit. Don't be the only person playing in that space. Make sure people are playing in that space, they've achieved success. It's like I want to build a kind of piggy vest now. You're telling me, oh, because piggy vest is already there, don't do it. It's a lie. It's a lie. I can enter into the market because there is numbers of people who don't have piggy vest, who don't even know piggy vest. I've been to schools and I ask people, do you know piggy vest? They say they don't know. And you see that this is a huge opportunity for you to be able to play in, right? If you're short-term part, clone something that already has a PMF. People will say, oh, don't steal ideas. If you're in product, steal the idea and steal it well. Like, look at their UX, double down on it. Because we know platform that does this in this country, that they will just wait for Bitnob to update their future. Bam, next day, they don't update. Are you waiting for us? Sometimes now, when we update future, we'll go and look at them and say, okay, when are you going to do your own? It's like that. People, and there's nothing bad in it. right? Because both of you have enough market. Is who can take it to the customer first and who can increase adoption first that went to the market. It's pretty easy, right? So clone something that has already achieved PMF, understand that there is a market here, there is an opportunity for you to be able to scale here, then double down on it and look for something different you can offer, something unique that makes you different from them. So it could be your branding, it could be your delivery, it could be even pricing, right? Just make it easier for people to be able to do product. This is exactly what I said. Clone 80%, find a way to innovate 20% of the time. Don't overdo it. Don't do a complete replica and just change color. Find a way to be able to innovate. Do something different that you know they are currently not doing. Find a way to satisfy customer better. And that's one of the ways you can quickly achieve product market fit. Common mistakes. Metaphor often leads to fake markets. So Pinterest or business, somebody will say Uber for cats. There are different ideas. Everybody, if you've been to a startup pitch, everybody is building Uber for something, Airbnb for something, this and this for something. And sometimes I sit down and I think about it. I'm like, this doesn't really make sense because there are different product categories. Imagine somebody who is selling animal is saying Uber for animal. Like, it never makes sense, right? So Pinterest for dogs. How does that really make sense? So people do like a lot of these mistakes by using metaphor or using lingua to be able to sell their product, but it never sells, right? So understanding the category in which you play in and understanding how you can actually project that category to people who need it by communicating very well, right? Effective communication. Language market fit, that's the word. It's called a language market fit. What is the language that your customers or your near customers, people that are not already buying from you, how do they describe your product? Once you find the way they describe your product, you can then double down on it and say, this is how they describe our product. People that are in advertising, I don't know if anybody knows how Data is Life got to, started using Data to Life. Do you have the idea? It was a gate man. They were doing market research and Ethel was killing them to say, we don't like this. And they asked Musa one day, Musa, what is data to you? And Musa said, data is life, Oga. This is all we've been running around for all this while. And you see how successful Data is Life is. So you really want to speak to your customers, understand how it works, and you can double down on the language that you would use. Technology in search of a problem. You have built the technology. You're not looking for the problem that the technology solves, right? It doesn't make sense. You need to first find a problem, then build a technology around it. Some businesses should be just a WhatsApp business, right? You don't need to build an app for it. You sell shoe online, and that's the only thing you sell. Why do you want to build an app for just your shoe? If you decide to say you want to scale big, you want to introduce other category, then it makes sense, right? But it's just a small business. You can do all of those businesses online. So first and foremost, have a problem, then solve for it through technology. Bet on human behavior. In the next 50 years, humans will begin to work on air. So I created this mobile device for people that want to work on air. We've not started working on air. Let us start working on air first before you build that technology. There are like a lot of businesses like this. One of the popular business is a guy created a phone case that people that take cigarettes would put their cigarette and it looks like a phone. Unknowing to him, people that take cigarettes don't want to hide that they take cigarettes. They are not ashamed of it. So it looks like a dope idea for you to be able to put something that looks like a phone, but inside of it is a cigarette. But when he released the product, because that was in technology in search of a problem. If he has asked people that take cigarettes to say, would you like this kind of thing? They will tell him, why am I hiding that I take cigarettes? I don't hide it, right? So you need to also understand this kind of people and make sure that you solve. You don't stop betting on future human behavior. Let's be there first, right? Before you start solving for it. How to scale. Show VC money and MBAs are the problem. It's a lie. You can have all the VC money in this world and you will still not scale. You can have the MBA guys top in your class, Harvard. If your product doesn't make sense, it's still not going to scale, right? So find a way to make sure it works. Find a way to make sure that people are interested in the product, right? Regardless of the amount of money you have. We've seen platforms like Piggyverse, for example, did not raise the 10 millions of this world before they became successful. It was small money that took them to market, they iterated, and they were successful, and they are where they are today. So a lot of money does not solve a lot of problems. In fact, one of the things we found out is when you raise your pre-seed, right, you are most likely going to fail in your first 1 year because every problem you throw money at it. This is money problem. Let's spend $50,000. Let's sign this ambassador. Let's do this. Let's do that because you have a lot of money in your bank. So you're not thinking of scalable ideas that are not in the books. And one of the things that most of us also do as marketers is that we are so much book-driven that we leave our brain behind. Oh, this is what this book says. We are no longer that idea bank that solves the problem. We just think, oh, we also want to do like a lot of copy and paste in marketing to say because this platform did it, we should also run this ad. So one of the things I would want to encourage, whether you're a business owner or a marketer, is there are definitely ideas that scale, but you need to understand your customers, know how it works, and then scale those ideas, right? They don't have to be conventional ideas. They might even be ideas that will scale in 3 months, that will help you achieve your 3-month goal, but not all the time. I read this in a book, I think we should implement it. It's not always going to work, so let's create new ideas. Paid ads, right? I think paid ads is a good way for you to be able to scale, but you must be able to measure the impact of the ad. One of the places I like to spend the majority of my time is my dashboard, regardless of what the cost per acquisition is. If a platform is giving me $4 for cost per acquisition, and the lifetime value of people from that customer is going to give me $30, and there's another one that is giving me $1 for acquisition, and the lifetime value is going to give me $7, I know exactly where I should put my money. It is not because your cost per acquisition is low, and that will mean that, oh, Damilola, let's do this particular platform now so that we can scale in terms of number. What about what they do when they get there? So all of us should be conscious of the kind of ads we run and also measure the impact of those ads. People run ads a lot of the time, and they don't just get to understand and measure the impact of that particular ad, even platform by platform, channel by channel. And for anybody who is not doing that, there's a platform called Adjust. Right? Adjust is one of the things I use to be able to show the ads that we are running, and we're able to see how each of those channels are performing. So it's an entire journey of, if they come in from Facebook, they activate in 2 days. If they're coming from Twitter, they get activated in 3 days. So it gives us an idea of where exactly to put our money. So that would help you in scaling very fast. I'm really out of time. Viral loop. Viral loop is super important, right? Referral is great, but be careful of the kind of referral that you do. If you are throwing money at everything, there's something called the referral scammers. They are plenty in the north. No shade. You can have 19,000 users in 1 day. They have like a WhatsApp group, a Telegram group. They will just drop the link to say, oh, this company is doing referral. When you do this, they will give you 1,000. And you'll just be seeing download, and you'll just be excited. But they will take your money, and they will never come back. They will never look at you. They are looking for the next referral scam that they can take advantage of. So you need to build your referral loop in such a way that it scales. One of the things we've done for us is we give like certain conditions. Bitcoin, for example, give like certain conditions to be able to make it work. One of them is that when you come on the platform, you must have deposited at least $5, right? You must have deposited $5, you must have completed your KYC, and you must also invite like an extra person. So that means that you want to, and what we're giving to you is not, Satoshi is I think 1,000 Satoshi, which is about, I don't know, maybe, how much? Is it 1,000 naira now? Yeah, 1,000 Satoshi is 1,000 naira. So yeah, but we are giving out Bitcoin, which we think that it does have more impact with you for a long time. SEO, please don't play with SEO. SEO is the winner. SEO is the winner for you. Create enough content. Yaz is the king of SEO in this room because the number of content Yaz creates. Yaz is waking up, is creating content. He goes to the office, Baba creates content. He is the content king, and that's exactly why he's here, right? How exactly, one of the questions I'm going to ask you is, how did you hack it? Because people know that social media works, but they just don't get to use it. The volume and the numbers of content you create makes it easy. So one of my friends says, oh, there's this guy I used to see. It's only clean. I say, it's yes. He said, yes. We don't need to have that conversation because only one person is really dominating that space when it comes to that, right? The numbers of content he creates makes him an authority already, right? And it's just beyond like any other platform. Not just the social media, the blogs, because people are searching. People are always searching. So double down on that content. Double down. I would say for an organization, you should at least have 12 blog posts in a month. That's the least you should do. 12 blog posts in a month. Because it's a number game. If your competitor is doing 25, they would win that game. They would always win that game. They will always win that game, especially if you are doing the right thing. They would always win that game. After using this, just add water, pray to your God, and I hope you become successful. Right? So that is the end of my presentation. I would like to take 2 questions. Thank you, please. You can go ahead.
2 questions.
2 questions.
Shape how things work in different spheres. And something caught my eye when you talked about choosing to bank on places that have been successful, where there is successful competition. And my question is, for an idea that you know there's a market for it, and you know there's potential for traction to come from this, how do you grow traction, or how do you determine what to expect in terms of traction for such new ideas that are not already there? Because I'm sure many of these companies that are in the market today, like boats, maybe they saw something somewhere and say, hey, there's money here to be made, and they went into it and they found good traction for it. And so how do you do that in the current situation, sphere where you find an idea and you think there's something here? How do you?
So when you say there's something here, do you have current competitors that are already doing it?
No, that's what I'm saying. No successful competitor. It's a new idea that you think will make it boom.
Okay, great. It would be great if I have an idea of what that idea is. But let me give you an example. When, I don't know, was it Bolt or Uber that came to Nigeria first? Whichever of them came to Nigeria first? Uber, yeah? The truth is, there was an alternative to it that was not techified. We do transport along all the time, right? What Bolt did was, they saw that obviously transportation is very important in your life. What they did was they now built convenience into it. For a lot of us, right, we would say, Oga, I'm going to sit in front. If you are taking 2 in front, I grew up in Ilorin. Ilorin is 2 in front, 3 at the back, right? I would say I'm going to pay for the 2 person, regardless of where I'm going to, because I want convenience. Somebody like me, when Uber came to place, it was no brainer, because I already have a problem that currently has a solution, but hasn't been techified to my convenience. So once somebody added convenience to a transportation, I know that I belong in that category. So, and that was why I said that there must currently be an alternative to the idea. It's just that it might be hard and it's not convenient for people to be able to use. It might not be easy. It might take them maybe 50 steps to get there. And you can now build a platform that it takes them 5 steps. People want convenience regardless of whether they are rich or they are poor, they can afford it, they cannot afford it. As a matter of fact, people now make it a status game to make sure that they are able to use your platform. I've seen people excited for the first time of getting on a plane. I've seen people getting excited for the first time of taking their first Uber transport. I've seen people excited about doing something that you probably do on a daily basis for the very first time. It became a status thing, and they now want to get to that level. So that product, the idea that you have, if people are not currently having an alternative to it, there is a huge chance it's not going to be successful. It can never be out of the moon, right, enough. It must be, what is the current alternative to way people solve this problem? Then how do I build convenience into it? How do I make it easy, right? And it always doesn't have to be a mobile app. Even though mobile app is like the big thing right now. I don't think everybody needs, we have, mobile app is a lot, right? But I don't know what it is. You can discuss with me if you have an idea, right? And then I can give you like what my thought around that, yes.
Right, your brand. Or like what comes to your mind when you see your brand. So,
thank you.
I run the digital marketing agency. They started last year. So, like, what do we need to consider when we are having the language market fit for our brand? In order to choose the most appropriate language, I used to consider what your brand offerings are, or the language that your customers can easily relate to. Because sometimes people call me content creator, and like I'm not a content creator. So people call me a social media manager. I'm not a social media manager person, like I'm more than that. So how do we have like the perfect social media?
Awesome. I think the answer is pretty easy. Talk to your customer. Tell them if you don't know me and you want to go online to search for my product, what would you search for? It's that simple. How would you search for, I need a dry cleaning service? You don't know yours. How would you go online to say, I need a dry, what will you search for? That's exactly how you know what the product market fit, a language market fit is. So you can ask like 50 people. There will be a consistency in some of the words that they use, right? And you can then build around that. That's how you achieve your language market fit. You already have a customer base. You know who your target audience are. You know why they need your service. But if they don't know you and they don't know your competitor, what would they go online? They go to Google to say, I need social media managers in Abuja, content creators in Nigeria. How can I get a social media? They have a language that different customer uses, right? All you need to now do is get a pool of that language. Then you now fine-tune it down to what is very consistent in their language. Then you build a phrase or a word around it. Then you build your content creation ideas around that. Because that is what your customers are searching for to be able to find you. All right. All right. Thank you so much, guys.
One more time for Mr. Damilola.